Welcome to the Digital Growth Hack Club, where we help you elevate your business and your bottom line. Here is your host, Jenny Jones.
Hey, welcome again to the Digital Growth Hacks Club. I am your host, Jenny Jones, and I have with me a founder of a very young and upcoming company. I found them by accident, but I'll let him kind of explain it to you what happened when I stumbled upon his tools. So I am sitting here today with the founder. His name is Tan May, and he is founder of Predis.ai. And just wanted to pick his brain a little bit, try to figure out where they're going, why they were on AppSumo, and try to ask them a little bit more questions in the future and the growth of the actual program, and even what they were thinking, because I'd never seen anything like this. I haven't seen a tool out here like this. I had to pick his brain. Says, man, we got to have you come on the show. So again, I want to welcome you to the show, Mr. Tan May. How are you doing today?
Hi, Jenny. I'm doing good. Thank you for having me here. I'm sorry for the last minute thing. I had to reschedule it kind of for you. Sorry for that.
Oh, no, you're fine. I'm glad we were able to link up and have some time to do it. So listen, let me start out with probably one of the hardest questions that I ask most founders is, why AppSumo? Why now? Or is this something you guys wanted to bring to the US? Or why AppSumo? Why now? We'll get into some of the other questions, but why AppSumo?
Let me just take a step back. Let me tell you what have been we doing till now. So we are a team of 3 founders, and we have been working on this full time since January this year. So we left our jobs and started full time on it since Jan. And we launched the first version on Product Hunt in April of this year. So at that point of time, what we were trying to build was something like a Grammarly for social media. So the overall idea was everybody tries to create content for social media, but then it's a very black box kind of a situation. You never know what kind of content is going to work. Is this something which is in the right direction? Now, what Grammarly does is while you're typing, it will start giving you suggestions on how could you improve. So we wanted to bring the same approach to a social media post creation also. So while you're creating a social media post, an AI can tell you what is going right, what is going wrong, and stuff. And that was our first product.
So
And
when you
as I told
say,
you,
let's back up here. You said a Grammarly. You said a Grammarly like for social media. Is that what you said? Or
yes, exactly.
so is that a different product, or that's part of this one, or that's where you started at, and then it evolved
Yeah,
into this?
we started with that, and we have been building on it. And today, like whatever Predis.ai has become, it is basically built on those foundations only.
Oh, I see. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So as I told you, we launched on Product Hunt in April of this year, and
Right.
since then we have been continuously iterating on users' feedbacks and stuff like that. Overall, the kind of problem we are trying to solve is I have also been an entrepreneur for the last 8, 9 odd years, and I know that creating content is one of the most difficult things. I mean, my personal experience is you always get a writer's block. At least I always get a writer's block whenever
Right.
I try to create a content.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are tools for, I would say, generating graphics. There are tools for publishing. There are tools for scheduling, everything.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But the hardest problem, I think, is at the top of the funnel. What exactly should I create? And why this? Why not something else? That is something we have been trying to solve.
Okay.
So
So let
now,
me. So let me. So let me stop you up there for a second here. So I just want to catch up and make sure I'm following you. You said, okay, well, you started out, you and 2 other co-founders, you guys started out in January on developing this product, kind of like a Grammarly for social media, and try to help people to have writer's block. And then from that tool, it evolved. You got the first working part of that tool on and you got that on Product Hunt, but you got that from just user feedback and all of that. Because I got to tell you, I'm amazed at your product, and I found it by accident. No one told me about it. It wasn't buzzing anywhere. I said, man, well, let me see this tool, because I'm always on the lookout for good tools that makes my life easier or my client's life easier. And I stumbled upon it. I said, this tool can't do this. It can't do that. And I bought it and downloaded it, and I was like, sure enough, it did. So let's talk about the user feedback and how you developed into Predis as it is today, where you were. Yeah.
so sure. So what happened was, like after we built that tool, we got users who were using it, But then we realized that there was a very big friction point at the start of it. We were expecting users to write something and then the tool would validate and tell them if that's right or wrong. Users told us the basic problem is what to write. I mean, what type of content should they create? So, which is why we thought of taking a step back and trying to go into that ideation phase. That instead of obviously we had started to tell what could be done to improve the post. So that AI-based suggestions is already inside our platform as of today also. But yeah, so we went one step back and also started giving out ideas. So that took some time to build. Obviously, it was not an easy thing. Once that was done, then we realized creatives was the next big step for us. I
Right.
mean, we started giving out textual ideas, but then again, the workflow was not completed. Users were like, okay, I mean, this idea is fine, but I can't still make my social media post. A creative is a very important bit for any social media post as of today,
Right.
which is why we built this whole creative generation engine. The AI also generates creatives as of now, and you can edit it in a Canva-like editor. At this point of time, we kind of realized that we have actually built something good. At least that was the feeling we were getting. And we wanted to get in front of as many users as possible. Now, AppSumo, because of its unique positioning, actually is like, I mean, I think it's a melting pot for a lot of early evangelist. I think a
Right.
typical AppSumo user is somebody who likes new products, who likes giving it a try to new startups. I mean, they're fine if there are some bugs. Obviously, they are demanding, which is a good thing. But
Right.
yeah, at least they give a new startup a chance. So, which is why we thought of launching it on AppSumo. The idea was to go in front of whatever. I think I've read that AppSumo has a very big audience. It's like almost 800,000 people who keep on using AppSumo.
Right.
So the idea was to get in front of as many people as possible, uh, try to request them to obviously use the product, gather as much feedback as possible, and hopefully do get some users who kind of stick and who can obviously keep on contributing to the development journey. So that was the whole logic of coming to AppSumo now.
Wow. Okay. So let me ask you this, right? So you have a tool that you put it out there. You says, hey, you can write in this tool, it'll help you. And then you guys evolved into, no, we'll just get a tool to just write for you. Right. And there's a lot of tools that come to market. There every day there's tools that come to the market on other platforms as well, and especially on AppSumo. But I stumbled across your tool and I read what you said in the comments. Your comments was, we're not this tool that you're seeing. We're not that tool. And I'm not throwing the names out there. That's what I'm just saying. If anybody wants to know, you can go and read and see what he said. He was basically, hey, we're not this tool. We're not that tool. And I was like, wow, gosh, those are the only tools that I've seen coming out. They all were lookalike tools, right? And we call it in a lot of applications, they'll say, hey, do you want to duplicate this, right? Or do you want to copy this? And you guys are like, no, we're not doing that. What we're doing is we have a tool that actually, if you give us a phrase and give us an example of what it is you're trying to write about, we will go out, we will find the copy for it, we'll write the copy for you, and we'll find the photos that go along with it. And we'll build a house for you, right? We'll talk about that a little bit later. And so you guys are actually doing that. You guys just load up your information and it just writes everything for you, writes your copy and you download it and it's ready to go. Is that what
Yes.
happens?
Yes, absolutely. So the idea was like, as I told you, this is my second startup. Like small background, I have done a startup before this. I ran it for about 6.5 years, and I sold it to the largest digital media company in India. So it was a successful exit for me, my investors, and everybody. And
Okay.
one of the biggest learnings which I got was, I mean, if you have to build a product, it has to be 10x of everything else in the market. That's the only way you're going to get a head start. And this time we were very clear that we are not going to copy. We do not want to build something incremental on top of something else. I mean, which we kind of see every day happening as of today. There are a lot of clone products and everything. And that was the primary reason why we decided that, yeah, I mean, it might be hard, but we need to do something which is absolutely unique, which obviously adds a lot of value to users. And yeah, I mean, as of now, we do generate social media posts. But yeah, I mean, if I have to talk about the future, there is a lot more things
So
which we would want to do.
we're going to come back to that because we're going to transition to that. So because I know you're chomping at the bit to get to that, and I kind of have a little bit of idea of where you're going with that. Definitely going to talk about that. So let me ask you this. So let's talk about the technology. You guys are using the is it GPT-3? Are you guys using that technology underneath the bottom of it or?
Okay, so GPT-3, yes, we do use it, but GPT-3 is, I think, maybe 10% of our product. I mean, if you
Okay.
look at it, there is a lot of AI which actually goes into it. So my both of my co-founders, they are actually AI experts. They have won a lot of international AI competitions,
Right.
and we actually have a lot of real AI. I'll give you a very simple example. A creative which you see, which is generated, you will see that the contrast of those images is always adjusted against the background color.
That's
So
one thing that I noticed, right? And that's, I was showing it to a friend. I said, man, you got to see this tool. Let me send you a share screen. He's like, it doesn't do that. I said, yes, no, it does. Shout out to Chris, right? He's going to be like, what? So I'm saying shout out to Chris because he didn't believe me. He said it takes the contrast of the background and all that. I said, it does. I said, I'm telling you, this is amazing. So I showed him, he's like, OMG. Oh, I cannot believe this. So that I like that. It does the contrast. You say AI is, you're only using like 10% of GP3. You're saying you guys built so much more into it. So go ahead and finish there.
yes,
That was one
exactly.
of the things that I noticed right away. And that
Yes.
I really was
Yeah.
excited about that.
Thank you. Thank you for noticing. So, I mean, that was just an example of different places in which we have actually implemented that AI. So, there is
Mm-hmm.
GPT-3, yes, we use that. Apart from that, there are a lot of, I would say, in-house AI models which we have built for different purposes. That whole recommendation bit, what would be the right time to post, all of those things also come from our own AI. Apart from that, we also use a lot of other large language generative models,
So
including GPT-3 to do that.
let me ask you something else, right? So it tells you the best time to post, right? That's also, and it also gives you trending hashtags as well.
Yes. So the workflow is we just ask you for a one-liner of what are you trying to create. It might be something about your business or something about a new campaign which you're trying to do for a product.
Right.
After that, we will give you a lot of ideas. Whatever 7 ideas we give you by default, obviously you can generate more ideas. The next step is you look at an idea, you try and polish it. You could make changes to the creative. You could generate some other caption for that idea. You could edit that caption. Then we go to the hashtag bit. We have actually implemented or we use the Instagram's hashtag library. It is updated at a very frequent levels. So we
Mhm.
also show you what's the reach of the hashtag, should you use it or not. That's like step three. Step four is the AI suggestion bit. That is where that was actually our original product. Like what is working, how could you improve? Now, from a suggestions perspective, we give you a couple of suggestions. It starts from what is your image score? Like, is the creative good enough? Because all of these social media platforms are very creative heavy. So we have actually trained our AI to understand if the creative is good enough, if will it be actually liked by users. So we give you a score. Typically, if that score is like 80-85%, you should go with the creative. If it's less than that, then we kind of recommend you to polish that creative. That's one.
So
Apart
you
from
guys actually, let's stop right there because I didn't know you guys did this. So you guys actually score the creative that you come up with, or is it a learning? Does it learn over time, or when you say you score it? Tell me about that a little bit more.
Okay, so how that works is we have actually trained an AI on almost 80 million creatives from Instagram. So the AI knows what kind of creatives are there, how did
Ah,
they fare,
okay.
and it also keeps on learning every day. Like as more people link their accounts, we also get more data, and there is also an incremental learning phase.
Oh, okay. And then because I like that because you guys have a comparative competition.
Yes.
Who's my competitor? How's my competitor doing? And how's my ads doing against my competitors? Now, do you track my competitors' likes and all that just to run against a comparative against me? And maybe he's running a certain type of ads. Maybe he's showing a picture with quotes or something like that. And will your tool start saying, hey, your competitor's using this, he or she is getting a lot of likes from this, maybe you should start doing that as well? Is that what you guys, please don't tell me you do that.
So, so we don't do that right now, but yeah, that's something on the roadmap. I was going to tell you that yeah, you kind of figure out a roadmap pretty fast.
Man,
So yeah, as of today,
I was going to go buy like 20 codes. Wow. So is that on the roadmap? Is that what you said? Or you say, hey, that's on the roadmap, right? Or we would love for that to do that. Is that on the roadmap?
yeah.
What is
So yeah. So I'm not sure. Like, have you explored the competitor analysis properly? Like, have you ran it a couple of times?
I
You don't have that?
have not, because I don't have any competitors that I know of, right?
Oh,
I'm like you guys, right? I'm trying to carve out my own little, I don't really want to be, and that's the challenging part of being a niche tool, right? Your tool is like, hey, we're not like anybody else. We're doing our own thing. What's hard about that is it's hard for people to wrap their head around something being
correct.
different and out of the ordinary. Because I got to tell you, all the AI tools that dropped this summer and this year, everybody's dropping out. Another one came out. People's like, oh, I got to get this one. This one does long form. I got to get this one that does short form. This one does short form, but it adds a period at the end. Okay, let me get that one too. And everybody's doing it. So everybody was buying them. But then your tool comes along and says, you know what? Just give us a sentence and we will write the copy for you. We'll tell you the best time to post, and we'll even recommend some hashtags for you. No one had seen it. It's like, wait a minute. And so when I was comparing your tool to another tool, someone says, hey, I need a tool that does this and that. I says, well, if you're going to compare the two, that tool does this. It finds, it may find your neighborhood, may find the closest library, closest school, but your tool says, we'll just build a house for you. Right. And and that's what it does. It says, hey, you need a house built. We'll just build it for you. We'll give you 7 different models. We'll give you the base model. We'll give you this model. If you don't like those, then we'll regenerate some more and help you come up with the best copy. And wow, that's crazy. So did you have anything else on the technology before we move into the future of what you guys are
Yes.
going to be doing?
Let me just close on that competitor analysis bit. So I'll tell you the genesis of that. Why are we trying to do that, or rather, what is the problem you're trying to solve?
Yeah.
I know that you don't have any competitors. You're obviously trying to carve your own niche, but then most of the businesses out there would have something they would be competing against. Worst case, they would at least have somebody who is maybe not selling the same product, but competing against for the same mind share which they are, like from an end customer perspective.
That's fair. That's
Now,
fair. Yeah.
yeah. So now what happens is for me to understand what kind of content is somebody pushing out, and more importantly, what kind of content is working for them. That's not a very easy problem to solve. As of today, if I have to do it, maybe I'll go to somebody's Instagram handle. I will keep on scrolling down. I'll keep on making mental notes that, okay, I've seen these different themes. This type of a post is generating better engagement, getting more likes, more comments, and stuff like that. So what we do is we have actually again trained our AI to do that for you. Like in a nutshell, what happens is you give them AI Instagram handle. The AI will go and download all of that data via the Instagram official APIs, and then segment that and make you clusters of different content themes. The best part, you can actually sort those content themes by the engagement percentages. So essentially, what happens is in like 2 or 3 clicks, you directly understand which is the best performing content for a particular handle. And that now, like, how do you use that? Like, our use cases, what we have seen people doing it. Obviously, first thing people do is audit their own handles. What is the type of content they've put in? Which of that has worked the best? Which has worked the least?
Mm-hmm.
Second, obvious use case, they look at their competition, try and see what type of content is the competition putting in and what is working. So maybe they get inspired from it and learn what has not worked, so not to repeat those same mistakes. A very third and a very interesting use case which we have seen, a lot of agencies have started using it for their to make pitch for a new client. So whenever they go to pitch to a new customer, they actually run competitor analysis for their customer. Tell them that, hey, we analyzed your data. This is how your data looks. This is the best performing content. This is not working well.
Wait,
I mean,
wait,
you
whoa,
look
whoa,
at
whoa, 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 whoa. Let's back up right there, because now you got me here. So you're saying if I'm an agency, right, and I use your tool, and it says, hey, I need some help trying to come up with some creative, you can say, hey, let us do an analysis on your account and or your competitor's account. Who are you trying to be like, or what audience do you want? So you guys punch that into your tool. I can get the information and then I can take it back to a prospective client. And then I can say, hey, here's what we noticed, what they're doing. And what is that how that works?
exactly, that is how it works. The only difference is you only can give an Instagram handle right now. We download all of that data from Instagram and do all of that analysis. Right now, we are not taking any other inputs, but yeah, that's in the future.
Okay.
So
So
overall, yes.
reports is something you're going to do. So let me ask you, let's pivot a little bit. is is an agency model set up where we'll be able to do sub accounts? Is that on the roadmap, or is that even a possibility? Because we do work with a lot of agencies in AppSumo. So is that even on the roadmap? Or
Agencies, yes, is in the roadmap. Right now, the first step is to implement team members. So all of these plans, whatever we have added, so obviously team members is in the agenda. And whenever team member comes out, it will come with the entire access control bit with different roles and responsibilities, all of that. Once that is done, then yes, sub accounts also.
so team accounts are coming. So when can we look for that? 6 months, 3 months, first quarter, second quarter,
I
or
think 3 months should be a very reasonable estimate. Like our
about
internal deadline is somewhere around February mid.
around February? Around when? Around
Yes,
February?
February. Yes.
Okay, yeah, so we can look for that at least March or something like that by the end of the first quarter. Okay, that's good. So one other thing so right now it's just Instagram. So Facebook, when can we look for that? Because I think you've already shared with the community. You have a very vibrant community, by the way. So we look for those things. So as LTDers, we are actually looking, if you have a good active community, are you involved? Are you a founder that runs and hides? Those are the types of things that we look for. A lot of you founders, I don't know if you know that, but we keep an eye out for this. Is this founder active? Are they running at the sense of bad news and we don't hear from them anymore? Or are they just facing the crowd and saying, hey, here's what's going on. People were having some internal problems, but we're going to get it right. And I think we really love that as LTDers. We really love when founders let us know what's going on or give us an idea. Don't over promise, under deliver. If you say, hey, when did you say it? February? I says, okay, let's look at March, right? End of the first quarter. That's what I don't like to give hard deadlines, especially to LTDers, because they live and die with that, right? So that is interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
So just to complete, Facebook is something which is already there. Like we are testing it. We are actually waiting for Facebook to give us API approval. Like Facebook API approval process is a bit long. They actually test out the system themselves and then only they give an approval. So yeah, in the computer analysis bit, you should be able to add Facebook pages and analyze that data. I don't know, maybe 10 days, subject to Facebook approvals. But I
Oh,
think they should approve them.
so we're looking at, let's give it 30 days, right? In the next 30 days, we should at least have Facebook, right? Because you've already done all your own internal testing. You guys are saying you have approval through Facebook. So let's give it another 30 days. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, yeah, I mean, if I'm telling you 10 days, I'm internally sure we should be able to finish it in 8 days. But yeah, I mean, we can keep some more buffer. Maybe just call it 15 days. That should be
15
fair.
days. Okay, that's fair. Hey, listen, I'm trying to help you out, man. When people see this, they're going to be like, he said 10 days, they're going to mark it on their calendar. So I'm trying to leave you a little runway, right? That's the last thing we want to happen is for you to run out of runway, right?
I understand. Thank you for that. For me, I am basically trying to push everybody as fast as I can. So now, since
but
I've
we
committed
want
15 days,
but we want a good product too, though. So don't push people and it's like, oh, we'll just put it out there. No, we want a good product as well. So as we kind of bring this to a close a little bit, let's talk about the future, right? Let's talk about, because you guys are currently now on AppSumo. You guys are a little bit thin in your offering. And I know it was you just when you got there, right? But I noticed on your AppSumo here, you guys got your offer there, right? You know, you guys only have about 20 reviews. So right now it's one code at 59. Then you can stack one code and you get 4 active workspaces. Then you can stack 2 codes and get 6 active workspaces. And then it says 16 members coming soon. Is that where you start getting into the sub accounts, stuff like that? Because it's like, hey, we got to get the team members down first, right? Okay.
yes.
Okay. And then that gives you a 40% off of all subscription plans. What does that mean? What does that mean?
Okay, so our typical subscription plans, like we have 3 different type of plans: starter, growth, and agency. So the idea was that for all AppSumo users, if they want to migrate to a monthly or an yearly kind of a plan, obviously the basic difference is on the number of posts. The features are the same. On subscription plans, you have unlimited posts for every plan. So
Mm.
if AppSumo members are not happy with the limits, which I know they are not, maybe they would want to upgrade to the subscription plans. To make it easy for them to upgrade, we are offering a 40% perpetual off. Like whenever they upgrade, they get a 40% off on that price and they stay on that locked in price. And to add to that, like just something which I want to call out, if you stack three codes, we also are doing a pause and a resume. So why are we doing that? In a lot of LTD communities, I heard that obviously we are not the first ones to offer an discount on upgrades.
I've seen that
But then what
before.
typically, yeah, but then what typically happens is people need to lock in and people need to keep on paying for it. Because if they stop, they kind of lose that whole discount and that locked in rate benefit.
Mm.
So, and we don't really want somebody to keep on paying us unnecessarily if they are not using us, which is why we did a pause revision. So, in case you don't want to, whatever, like for whatever reason you are not using the product, you could pause the subscription and we'll give you another year. Like within 1 year, if you want, you can always resume at your own login rate. That was one extra thing which we thought we'll do. I mean, this was obviously a feedback from a lot of entity groups. I keep on scanning them, obviously add some value wherever I can, and this is something which I picked up.
No, this is fairly so for $177, you get, and that's a 3-stack, right? You get the 6 team member seats when they come out. You also get the 40% off, but you also get the pause and resume, right? If I want to pause and says, hey, my business is not doing what I thought it would be doing, so let me take a pause for about 3 months and then I can resume. You're saying, do you only get that at the 3-stack level though, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so here's what I can appreciate, right? And I'm gonna give you my feedback, right, as we kind of bring this to a close. What I can appreciate is the flexibility, right? And I'm one for, I want my founders to be successful, because if you're successful, as long as you're in business, then I see a better return on my initial investment. That's what I'm trying to get people to get they say, oh, I want an LTD. I want an LTD. Oh, they charge me $10 for this. They charge me $5 for this. I'm like, okay, so don't you want them to make any money, right? Don't you want them? Because if they make any money, then they'll be around a lot longer. The longer they're around, the better your ROI or return on investment is for your initial purchase.
Yes.
It's just math. I mean, it's business. And so I get it. I understand it. So when you start offering things like 40% discounts, and then you start offering the pause and resume, those are things that are actually going on. Or does a person have ups and downs in their business cycle? Hey, we're in slow season here. It's snowing outside. And we're not able to do those. So let me pause and then I'll pick it back up, when summer gets here or something like that. I appreciate that. And thank you so much for at least considering and thinking that through. So at least it's looking at least $177 investment to be able to participate in that. Anything else is going to happen at the 3-stack level that I should know about, and then maybe my viewers or listeners should know about, that happens at the 3-stack level?
Okay, so basically the number of posts definitely increased. So instead of 60 per month, you get to 180 per month. Your workspaces have also increased. So you could practically do 6 clients perpetually with that at a 3-stack.
Okay.
So it's basically like 30 posts per client per month for 6 clients that you can do, and obviously forever at 3 codes.
So here's what I hear, and I'll tell you this as we kind of bring this to a close. One of the things that was very, very surprising to me, and I don't think a lot of people know this, a lot of people do. A lot of people that are into marketing, and they're definitely into social media marketing. I'm not an expert, but I consider myself on my way to understanding the dynamics and the way the different social media platforms perform, right? One thing I noticed you guys did, and I was very, very impressed with, you guys not giving me one type of post, right? It says, oh, here's your post. You guys say, hey, do you want an informative post, right? Do you want a post with a question and answer post? Do you want a motivational quote? I don't know if any other tool does that. There may be, I just haven't seen them, but it's like, hey, Jenny, here's your phrase. Here's 4 different types of posts you can post. And I think what gets traction, especially on Instagram, is the variation of posts, right? If the same person keep posting the same thing, hey, buy from me, 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 that starts to become noise to people, right? They don't engage, right? But there's some posts where a person is having a tough day or a bad day, they get a motivational quote from you and says, hey, keep pushing, keep driving, and then you might have a little small your little brand in the bottom or your little logo. That's what kind of sways in it. Says, man, I like this company because every 3 days they're coming out with something motivational. Every 4 days or once a month, they really give a good quote. And so I can tell you right now, I really, really appreciate that in your tool. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, I
Yeah.
think that was the whole essence. Like you absolutely got it. The way you got that, it builds a house for you. So that infusing that variety in your hobby, like from a content calendar perspective or a 30-day period, I think you should only directly sell to your users maybe three, four, 5 times max. Rest of the times it has to be very, I would say, engaging. Maybe an educational kind of a bit. How could they better use a product to maybe
Right.
improve their
Right.
life, something like
Right.
that. So that's that overall idea of infusing that variety.
Or behind the scenes or something. I'm telling you right now, does that make me a marketing expert that I was able to figure that out and think it's very usable? No. So listen, are there any final words? Is there something we should know? Should we take advantage of this Black Friday sale? Because if I do that, I go minus, let me see, do my calculation here. I can basically get it if you have a plus account or briefcase account. I can basically get it for about $30 off and get it for about $140 instead of 177. Yeah, $140. I think I'm going to go ahead
I
and go.
think
I think I'm going to do an
Yes, I
upgrade
think
on
you
mine.
should definitely, yes, I think you should definitely go for it. And I think we should be having this LTD for maybe another month maximum. So I think this is the right time. I don't think so. We'll be there till the next Black Friday for sure.
Oh, no, no, no. Yeah, yeah, no. So I'm excited. I appreciate your tool. Honestly, I really like your tool. Here's the reason why, as we bring this to a close. I have not seen a tool like this ever. Ever. I've seen a lot of tools. I haven't seen a tool like this. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I hope people have an opportunity to experience it because again, as of when I was coming on, I was telling people I stumbled on it. Right. I think I punched in AI in the search bar and your tool came up. I'm like, man, there's no tool that can write for you and do all of this and look up the hashtags and all that to tell you the best time to post. I said, let me try one code. And I was blown away. I found out that you do the color aesthetics and the copy and all that. And I was like, those are attention to details that I can appreciate. So I applaud you and the rest of your founders. I wish you guys continued success. Are there any final words that you would like to share with the listeners or the Sumalings out there or the LTDers out there? Are you going to throw out something like, if you guys bet on us now, we guarantee you that we're going to change the world? Are you going to say something like that or no? I've had founders do that, by the way.
So I do intend to change the world, but that's not my style. I mean, typically I don't like to call it out beforehand. Once I have everything in my hand, I would definitely do that. So yeah, I think parting word should be, I think, yeah, I mean, as you rightly said, for us, visibility is a problem, primarily because we are on the marketplace. Why we launched on the marketplace was because, honestly, that 30% versus 80% commission is something which is very difficult for a company, especially an AI company, which depends on all of these GPT-3 and other kind of models, which obviously cost a lot in the long run. So yeah, I think visibility is something which is the most important for us. And if you guys could just maybe help us in spreading the word, maybe just let other users be aware that okay, there is something like this which exists. I think that's the best thing which could happen to us.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. And here's the easiest way I share it. I said, hey, you guys got to see this tool, man. Just get one tool, get one code, just try it out. Right. And they tried it and says, hey, I'm going to get more. Right. And so they all said, man, this was a good recommendation. And again, I stumbled on it because I hadn't heard of it, but hopefully the word can get out. And again, I'd like to thank you again for joining us, Mr. Tanmay, here with Predis.ai. It's currently on AppSumo right now, going for $59 for one code. And you can stack it at least up to 3 codes. Can you buy more than 3? Or you can just continue to stack? Or how does that work? Or is that even
So
possible?
I think we have just stopped it at 3. That's it.
Okay, so stopping at 3. All right. So far, right? Is what we got, right? So, all right. So that is good. So thank you for joining me today here on the Digital Growth Hacks Club. We like to thank this awesome gentleman, this awesome founder and their tool. I can't wait to see what they're going to do from a year from now. I'm going to go look back on this video and say, hey, I told people about this tool. They didn't believe us. And so I'd like to thank you again for joining us here on the show. This has been Jenny Jones, your host. Hope all is going well. Again, where we try to help you increase your bottom line by looking at tools that no one is even talking about that can help you grow your business and allow the founders to be able to benefit as well. I'd like to thank you again. Take care. Until next time. Goodbye for now.
Thank you for joining us here on the Digital Growth Hack Club, where we help you elevate your business and your bottom line. Please do not forget to subscribe and share. And until next time, goodbye for now.